Hello guys. Um, there are a lot of things about the stock market that makes it unique. The most important thing in the market is that you can sell things that it is not yours. And this feature of the stock market you will never find in another market. Okay? Like selling short, if you think that the stock is going down, you think it's just your opinion. Either you see the stock going down or you think, so what you should do, you sell short to the stock. So you borrow shares and you sell them. This is what is selling short. And then when the stock goes down, you buy them again, or you say you cover back and you give the shares to your broker and you get the difference as a profit. Okay? Now, there is no other market in the world where you can sell things that it is not yours. It is not yours. You just borrow them. Okay? This is one thing of the market that makes the stock market special. Okay? Now, another thing about this market is it is illogical. I have seen a lot of people commenting and I argue with them and I debate. It's for me it is fun. Okay? Although it is a serious subject, but it is a fun for me to discuss these subjects because the people, they want rules to this market. They want to, with their logic, to make the market follow their rules. And this is a problem. That's why, if you don't understand the market, if you are always losing money, if you don't really understand the market, this is because you use logic, or what you call common sense. Because someone from England, he was discussing with me and then he stops. He always think about common sense. Always speaking to me. I say common sense is a cultural thing. Okay? Now, if you go to Asia countries, they eat dogs, they eat snakes. Common sense for them, it's okay. Now here in America, you don't eat dogs because the common sense is that we don't eat dogs because they are our pets and we cherish them. So how can we eat them? Okay? So this is the common sense. Now you go to the market with your common sense. How can you succeed? You will never succeed in the market. The market is a game. If you understand the game, you will make money. Let me drink some coffee. I always forgot to drink more. And this is the funny thing. The market is illogical. What does it mean, illogical? Illogical because if you use your logic, you don't understand. Why? Why a stock that it is $1 goes to $30? Before, when I was a beginner, I was the main question that I have always, and I don't have an answer until I succeed in trading, is this question: why the stock goes up and goes down? This is the question. Now, I go to a lot of meetups, a lot of meetings, a lot of conferences, a lot of just it's free. They ask you to come. I just go and listen. Now, when I ask them the question, I go to an investment meetup. Oh, they do investment. They look at the company, and I ask him the question. I say, okay, I have a question. He say, yes. I say, okay. I see a stock that was 95 cents. In 1 month, it goes to $30. Can you explain that with your fundamentals? Because at the time I don't understand. They tell me, oh, it's fundamentals. Look at the statement. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the competitor. Look at this. Look at the director. If she is a nice woman or a handsome man, and if it is so, the company will grow up. You know, that stuff. And people, they still believe in that stuff. That's why they will never see the money in the market. Now that guy, he looks at me and he say, I don't know. I say to him, you are teaching us, or you are showing us that you look at the company. The company is a loser. Okay? It lost a lot of money, but the stock is going up. So it's not the fundamentals that govern the price of the company. Okay? It's not. So you find a big company, well known, billions of dollars each year as earnings. Everybody knows this company. But the stock, either it stays in one price, trading into a range, or it goes down for many years. And you ask the question, what's happened to this company? Why it is so big and its stock doesn't go up? It makes money, but it doesn't go up. All the people talk about it, but it doesn't go up. All the people like its products, but it doesn't go up. All the people buy it, but it doesn't go up. So what's the problem? Here, when you have these kind of questions, you try to forget about your logic, and then what you should do, you should step up and go and check the game of the stock market. It's like the movie of Bruce Lee, The Game of Death. Okay? Should understand the game. When you are fighting someone, you should use everything you have because you are in a war. Okay? There is no rules. No rules. Before in the stock market, we have what we call insider trading. They know some people who have mutual funds, or some people who have a lot of money, and they get hints, or they get information that this guy is going to buy, and they go and rush and buy because they know when he buys, the stock will move because they have too much money. This is what we call insider trading. It was all the way in the 19th century, 20th century, and after they stopped this thing, when there are rules by the Security Exchange Commission, it stops that. Because a company, the stock is $10, it hires professional traders, and it gives them money, and they ask them to push the market up. Now, this is what we call the insider trading. So the executives and the people who owns the company, they know a lot about the company, they buy a lot. Okay, they buy a lot of shares, and then when the market goes up for weeks, okay, they do a lot of advertisement. Buy our company. You see that the company is going up. It is going up. It is going up. And when they reach, these guys, when they reach a very, very nice profit, they begin to sell, and they ask their advertisement or advertisers to tell people to buy because they see the proof. Now the people, this is the beginners thing. The beginners, they like to see a nicer chart and then they buy. If they don't see a big trend, they don't like. Okay? They like only when they see the big trend and they see the chart is good and they see a good information from online, like TVs or like online websites or newsletters. When they see information coming to them, they say buy, they buy. But the problem is they buy at the end of the trend. Okay? The other are selling, who bought earlier, like 1 month or 2 months or 6 months before, 1 year before, they are selling heavily, and you are buying. And this is the problem, because at that time this is called insider trading. Now when they oblige the people who are executives to show what they buy and what they sell. They don't say ask them why, but they should show it. But after, I think after 1 month or 2, but it is too late. Okay, if an executive buys 1 million of shares of stock, okay, and then the information will get to the stock market until 2 months or 3 months, or I don't know how much is the rule. Now this guy can make a lot of money, because if he has advertisement for his company and the people are buying, the stock price will go up, and then when he said I bought, the people think that they will buy, but he will be selling. This is the stock market, you know, it's game. Now, to understand the stock market, you should rely on the price. Now, there are some news that move the price directly, like earning dates. This, I covered this information before in other videos, and I explained that it is just people who want to make some money from the gap up or gap down, okay, following the earning dates. In some stocks, not all the stocks, some they have an impact on the stock price, and other stocks they don't have either good earnings or bad earnings. It doesn't do nothing, because there are not a lot of traders who follow this kind of stocks. Okay, now if you, a lot of people, as I mentioned in other videos, they try to find the reason, and this is a really another problem related to the common sense. Oh, you say there should be a reason why the stock goes to a very long trend like this. There is a reason. They begin to read online why. And this is one of the problems that investors and traders get into when they want to rely on analysts, on advertisers online, on those people who are, I'm not saying scammers, but they get paid to what they tell. So if you are a consumer, I see a lot of brokers, most of them, they give you news and they ask you to pay. Okay? You pay for news, information. The news are free. They are there online. So why should I pay for news and information? Okay? They are online. You just go to any website that gives news. It's for free. Why should I pay? And those news, the price is already there with this news. It's just old information. Okay, you didn't get the information on time, and you can't. Okay, you can't get this information on time. Even if you heard and you are very quick, you can't compare yourself to bigger institutions who, when they have the news, they act on it and they buy heavily, like in the Gap app. Okay, try to see, for example, Facebook. One time it goes like $15, Gap app. Okay, so $15 is a good thing. Some, for example, like Google, it can go to 100 or 150, Gap app. This is because the people who get the news and they are big, when they buy too heavily, so the stock goes up, and the other, they come later, the people like us, okay, they go later, or what you call the public, and they make the stock go higher and higher and higher and higher until the next morning, and you see that the stock has gone $15 up, and you ask yourself, why I am not there. It's just because you don't know and because you don't want to risk money. Okay? Now, forget about the reasons. If you can just simplify things that you can't know all the reasons, because there are millions of people online buying and selling. What is the reasons? Even if you know one reason, there are other 1 million reasons you don't know. Okay? Sometimes just one friend, he told him, oh, this stock is going up, buy it. He buys it. So he has no reasonable reason. It means not logical why he buys. He just buys because of the news, about people, about online newsletter, about whatever. So he doesn't decide by himself. So, to forget about reasons, you change it with supply and demand. Okay? So, when there is a supply, a lot of people are selling, like a mutual fund is selling a stock. It must go down because he gives too much to the market, and the market will accept what he gives. So a lot of supply, things go down. Okay? Now, if a lot of people are buying a stock, this is called demand, and then the stock will go up. This simple basic of the economy, this is the only reason I see why the stock goes up or down. So I don't care that much about what the people say, or what the people they announce on the market, or what the analysts say and try to comment and try to explain. Okay? Because if they know something, they become no, I'm not saying billionaires. They should be not millionaires but billionaires. These guys that they say we know. Okay? If you know, you will be a billionaire in 1 month. Okay? If you know the market, you know where the stocks will go so high and where the stocks go so down. You will be a billionaire in 1 month. You don't need to be an analyst all your life. That's why analysts, they try either to predict, simple prediction, everybody can predict, or they can tell you the history, and this is what they use. For example, you find them always speaking about mutual funds. Oh, this mutual have done 50% last year. Okay, it is last year, but this year, does the mutual fund will make 50%? Okay, no one knows. So the people they get, when they think that are good news, they like a sure thing. Now, if you rely on sure thing, you will never be an investor or a trader. You should rely always on probabilities, and there are always risks. There is no sure thing. And these skills, you should study them, practice them, and follow the price and have strategy. Either have your own strategies or you follow my own strategies. It's the same. Just if you succeed, that's it. If you're with my information or your information or with other information, it means just practice. And when you see something you don't understand, you can ask me questions. Here is my email on the top of the description on my website. If you are looking for training, you can just look at my trainings and see what interests you. If you don't know what you are looking for, you just ask me a question. This is because trading and investing, it needs to practice and to try things. Okay? Since there is no sure thing, since the market is illogical, since no one knows what will happen tomorrow, so you should rely on something that it is variables. Variables, that means they change. But you have a strict rules to follow, and these rules applied on the stock, it will show you what is changing. Okay? Now, for example, training level 2, level 2, it doesn't mean level 2 that you use in day traders. No, it's just levels like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just for beginners to follow their training, at least to understand one thing after the other thing, and what is simple first and then what is difficulties later. So this, it's just, it gives you a signal on the market. Okay, now when you get the signal, you buy. You don't need to have a reason other than a signal. The price is going up, you buy. If it follows the following days, following weeks, you make money. Now if you buy, the stock is against you, never wait too long, because if you have the idea that the stock will come back, this is a catastrophe idea that most of the people do, and they lose all their wealth. I have seen people who they contact me, someone lost $500,000, someone lost 250, someone has 40,000 in 1 year. He blew out, or he wiped out his account, and he has $5,000, and he asked me, oh, does your strategy double my money each month? I say, okay, I'm not a magician, I'm not doing sorcery, or I see the stars at night and they see which stock is going up. You know, I have probabilities, I use them, I will make my money, that's it. But I don't use magic. If you want to use magic, try to see other people. If you have 1,000, 2,000 and you can make millions, go with them and they will make you a millionaire. So for me, it's not the real thing I see online in trading stocks. Okay, now all about these things that we talk about a stock market is that a lot of people are still confused because they get too much information and they can't process all this information by their mind. So what they do, they accept the information, which is not I will tell you directly, this information are not based on the price. They are based on news, information about the company. The executive or the director of a company was fired, and there is a new executive who is the CEO of the company, and he is nicer, so the company will go better. You see? Now with this kind of logic, or the company is doing better in earnings, that means that the stock will go up. There is no relation. If you continue thinking with logic, with common sense, you will never get it. And I told you about the other guy who was debating with me, and he say, how can things, how this price changes each second? How can you make strategy and you make money? I say, this is what I do, and this is what millions of people are doing each day. If all the people, they don't make money, the market will collapse. Understand that. Everybody will take his money, and the United States of America will collapse. That's why when the mutual funds and the big guys are buying with the money of other people they put there, we follow the trend. That's it. And we make money. If we don't make money and no one makes money, the market will collapse. If investors, they don't make money, they put 10 years or 5 years or 20 years, all the people, they take their money, and we'll have what we call the bad years, like what did happen in 1929. At that time it was so wide. All the people, they can short all the stock and it goes to the bottom. Okay, so there is no, the real market at that time was very, very wild. Okay? But now things have changed. Okay? Sometimes all the stocks are going down, sometimes going up, sometimes one is going up, the other going down. So you should search and you make your own decision. You should be independent, and this is what I am doing here. So when you take my trainings, you will be independent. It means you think by yourself, you search by yourself, you buy by yourself, you put stop loss by yourself, you sell by yourself. You will be an independent trader. You understand the market as I understood, and that's it. Okay? You don't rely on other people or all your life relying on other people, because it's not good. You should decide for your trading and for your investment. No one will be in your place. Okay? So thank you very much for watching this video. If you have questions, comment. Thank you.